What is up, nerds, geeks, and gamers? I'm Rage, and on today's episode of Book Talk, I'm going to be talking about the hit game Gears of War's book series, starting with the first book, Aspho's Fields. Truly a fantastic read. I can't say anything bad about it other than I wish it had more action. I'm giving it a nice 7 out of 10. It's everything I wanted in a Gears of War book and more. It has great characterization. The action is pretty interesting, even though obviously it's harder to make reading action as exciting as like seeing it in a video game, like you can with Gears of War. Um, just I'm a huge fan of it. I read this book. I stayed up late to read it and finish it. Took me, I think, 2 days to be honest. I think it was two, maybe 3 days. And oh my God, was it fantastic! It was absolutely fantastic, man. Um, so now that that's out of the way, let me talk about the actual book itself. Spoiler warning, I guess. I mean, the book's like what, 10 plus years old, I think, and I would imagine that at this point, if you're a Gears of War fan and you like reading, you would have read them by now. But just want to let you know that I am gonna start talking about the book itself. So this one is split into two parts. The first part is set in the present between Gears of War 1 and 2, which is when, the book takes place. So that's part of the reason it's not super action oriented, I would imagine, because there's not a lot you can fit, I feel like, between Gears 1 and 2. So they decided to keep the book nice and light. And there's also the second section of the book, which is set in the past, taking place during, Aspho Fields, which is what the book is named after, and was the battle during the UIR War, the Pendulum War, and was the battle that helped get the coalition the technology needed to create the Hammer of Dawn strikes. Um, we learn about Dom's brother, who I don't think, it's been a minute since I've played the games, but I don't think we ever really heard anything about Carlos in the book in the games. Um, I don't think I realized that Dom had a brother, but like I said, it's been a few years since I've actually played the games. So we learn about Asphos Fields, what Dom, Marcus, Hoffman, Anya were doing during that time. They all took part in the operation to secure the information and clients, the scientists that were actually working on the Hammer of Dawn technology. Um, we learn more about some of the backstory for some of the characters, like we see more about Dom and Maria. We learn more about Marcus's relationship with his dad. Um, we learn about Anya's mom, which I never gave any thought to. I mean, obviously she has parents, but I never really thought about seeing them. So that was really cool. Um, I thought the past was really awesome. It makes me wish we could have seen more of the Pendulum Wars in a Gears of War game. I mean, I know we got the flashback in I think Gears 4 or 5, but I really hope we can get a game set during the Pendulum Wars. Uh, Now for the present, like I said, it takes place between Gears 1 and 2, and it's a bit less interesting, in my opinion. I still really liked it though. You get to see more about the cog and how they're running during the Locust War, which, I mean, like, obviously there has to be logistics for them to continue to operate and be able to continue the fight against the Locusts. You learn more about, like, what they eat. Like, I guess they use some type of algae, like protein packed algae to help supplement their food. Um, you learn that, like, infertile women are part of the cog military, or women too old to safely give birth. That's the two reasons that they would join. We learn that they have a fertility program. I don't know if that's the right word. Um, Pregnancy program. I'm not sure what the right term for it would be, but obviously you need manpower to keep fighting the locusts, and you know about 95% of all of Sarah is gone by the time Gears of War 1 takes place, and by the time Aspho's Fields is taking place. So obviously you need to find a way to get more people. um I never thought about that either. I mean, I played the Gears of War games when I was younger, so obviously it's not like I was doing a lot of thinking, and I'm not someone who tries to pick apart a game really when I'm playing it, so I never give it any thought. Um, we get introduced to a new character, Bernie Mataki, who we do end up seeing in Gears of War 3. I think in Gears of War 2 as well, but she gets introduced in this book, which was neat. We get to see more of her. We get to hear more about her past. Like, she served under Hoffman. Um, we know she knows Hoffman. We don't know how deep the relationship goes or anything like that, but we know that they were in the same regiment, 26 RTI, the Unvanquished. Um, Hoffman, I really enjoyed reading in this book. He's what? I think he's in his 60s at this point, in Gears of War, and age is catching up to him. I mean, in this book, it's very clearly shown that Hoffman, acting as commander for the last 14-ish years, is not as used to field work as he used to be. Obviously he's getting older, he's getting a little weaker. He just can't hang it like he used to with all the young, strong 30-year-old shit brick houses that they shit out in this universe. Um, we do get to see some development between him and Marcus, actually. We, in the present, the Locusts are gone after what happened in Gears of War 1, but they're starting to make more incursions, and they're getting closer and closer to where the food production is. So, the COG hierarchy, Prescott and Hoffman and all those other people up there, make the decision that they need to move as much of the food production as they can before the locusts get there, so that way they don't have starving people and all of that. So on the way there, a convoy gets ambushed. I'm sorry, on the way back with all the supplies and stuff, a convoy gets ambushed. Marcus is them. Sorry, not Marcus. Bard and Coltrane go to try and help out. They manage to do so. Hoffman actually meant to go help them as well, but once they got settled, they go back to their APC and find out that it's rigged, and then they get ambushed by locusts. So Marcus ends up going to help out Hoffman, who gets injured. And then they have a nice little scene at the hospital because Hoffman needs to get looked at for his injury, and Marcus just got out of prison and hadn't had a single physical exam or anything like that after being in a prison for 4 years. So they have a nice moment where they kind of make up a little bit. Hoffman apologizes for basically abandoning Marcus in the prison, even though, Marcus is a war hero. And obviously, as you learn in Gears 1, he made a mistake that cost them part of Jacinto, Etheria. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, like I said, it was a nice book. I like how they characterized the people. The brotherhood between Dom and Marcus is shown in full force. It was awesome. I really, really, really loved how this book was written. It does the characters a phenomenal representation. The universe is expanded from the games. It's everything you could possibly want in a Gears of War book. I really can't recommend it enough. If you love Gears of War, I've read 5 of the, I think 8. I think there's 8, right? Let's see here, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 8. I've read 5 of the 8, and I'm working on the 6th right now. Or yeah. I This was not definitely not the best book in the series. I'll tell you that much. But it's a fantastic introduction to the Gears of War book series. Um, it's obviously set between 1 and 2, so obviously you want to play 1 first to get more out of it. You probably won't get as much enjoyment out of the book if you don't play the games. If you haven't played the first one at least. Uh, it ends on a cliffhanger with a whole city disappearing. It's somehow got sunk into the ground or something and is being covered over by water from a nearby lake. And if you know or played Gears of War 2, you know what caused it. But like I said, this was just a really solid read. Really solid. 7 out of 10. Very good. I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough if you're a Gears of War fan. Like, seriously, it's everything I wanted from a Gears of War book. And if you love Gears of War, I do not think you'll be disappointed reading this. Now, if you've made it to this point, I'd appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to get and hit the notification bell if you feel like it to get notified when I go live or post a new video. Don't feel like you have to, but I'd appreciate it. This is the first of, like I said, I'm gonna read all 8 books. I've read 5 of them already, so I will definitely be doing the next 4 books relatively soon as videos. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you can find another video of mine to watch that you'll enjoy. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.